faking your death has long been around in Power, even before we saw Tommy Egan fake his death in the finale of Power Book 2 Ghost. And in this video, I'm going to rewind it back to 3 moments in Power where characters had supposedly faked their death, and then talk about Tariq's third option, which she mentioned in a conversation with Tasha in Power Book 2 Ghost, which led to a specific moment with Tommy that could just tell us what could maybe come in the future for Tariq. So stick around to the end of this video, and of course if you're new to the channel, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Universe related, especially as we move into the last half of the year with all 3 spin-offs yet to come. But first I want to rewind it all the way back to Power, and I want to talk about a few moments where characters had to fake their death. Let's start by rewinding it all the way back to season 2 episode 10. We had Kanan, who I wouldn't say exactly faked his death, but had no choice but to go into hiding and recover after being almost burned to death, surviving the epic battle at the end of season 2 with Ghost. But using his apparent death to his advantage, he came back to town as Slim in season 3, becoming a mentor to Tariq, plotting his way to try and get back at Ghost by turning Tariq against his own father and holding him as ransom. And Kanan would have planned this perfectly if it wasn't for Ghost being arrested, which changed the game. Kanan pretending to be dead at this point allowed him to be 3 moves ahead, something which he later taught Tariq, the original strategist in Power. And of course we're going to learn more about this in Power Book 3 Raising Kanan this summer, but this was the first time we saw someone take advantage of others thinking that Kanan was dead. He came back as Slim and almost hit Ghost where it hurts if it wasn't for a change of heart and fondness for Tariq, which made him kill Jukebox instead. Next we have Filipe Lobo himself. When Ghost wanted out of the drug game, Proctor told him that he needed to cut ties with everybody that knew him. He realized the only way to truly get out of the game was to then kill everybody that knew him as Ghost. We saw him kill Drifty and Vladimir the Serb and making Ruiz disappear. But the most important thing is he tried but failed to kill Filipe Lobos. Law enforcement had Filipe Lobos pretend to be dead in season 3 before Tommy and Ghost eventually took him out. So there's your second moment, but let's have a look at the third.
I don't freak nobody out or nothing, but I'm kinda dead.
Tommy Egan, he was kind of dead because Ghost, still hurting and reeling from the death of Angela Valdez, was on a full-blown mission to kill the man behind her death. Tommy Egan, his brother, he followed Tommy to meet Jason Michich and sprayed his car full of bullets, thinking he'd killed his best friend and brother Tommy, only to be surprised at Angela's funeral in season 6 episode 2, where Ghost looked like he saw a ghost when Tommy Egan returned. This was another moment in Power where someone had supposedly been killed, yet they were in the background still working on their next move. And who knew later in Power Book 2 Ghost, we'd see Tommy faking his death once again, but just with the help of Tariq this time. So let's talk about Power Book 2 Ghost and the theory of faking your death. Rewind it back to Power Book 2 Ghost episode 2, Tariq in a conversation with Tasha said, remember how Ghost always used to say drug dealers either end up dead or in jail? Well, I think I found another way, and I think we saw this other way play out with Tommy in the final episode of season 1. Faking your death could be Tariq's third option, with the walls closing in on Tommy Egan as the sole kingpin of Ghost's organization after Tasha was set free. It was only ever death or prison for Tommy until Tariq stepped in. He said that he can help him get what they all want, and that was by helping Tommy fake his death, and now he's home free, ready to build his life in Chicago. Now in the real world, there are only 2 options for drug dealers. You either end up dead or in jail, something which has been mentioned throughout Power, most recently with Monet warning Diana, telling him to stay away from Tariq, because if you get involved with someone like him, you either end up dead or in jail. So could this be Tariq's endgame? Could we see Tariq at some point fake his death to gain an advantage at some point? We all know that Tariq is growing up to be this version of Ghost, and Corny Kemp wants Tariq to be a better version of Ghost. She also spoke about a big shift in season 5, so could this potentially be that big shift? I do think we'll see Tariq eventually go to prison at some point in his life, because he'll need to experience this just like Kanan did, just like Tommy and Ghost did, so I expect the same to happen to Tariq at some point. But could Tariq's endgame be faking his own death, or could we at some point in Power Book 2 Ghost see Tariq using something like this to his advantage to be 3 moves ahead of one of his enemies that no doubt he will have, just like his mentor Kanan did? So drop me all your thoughts on what we saw play out through Power with Kanan, Filipe Lobos and Tommy, and with Tommy in Power Book 2 Ghost. Could we also see this being Tariq's endgame? Could we see Tariq using something like this in the future? I can certainly see it happen, but let me know your thoughts down below. But as always, thank you guys for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Universe related. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.